open, and you're gonna hear me unfortunately repeat it, but in 2020, they completely remodeled and built an event room. And it was started right here. Before that, it was just backyard, and we're gonna be in that event room shortly. But this is the storage area that I mentioned when we were in the bowling alley, and they still use it for storage. On the other side that we can't even get over to it, there's a basement where they stored the coal chute. Yeah, they did a good job building this up here. And there's the back of the main quarters with the shingles. You're taking right up here, and you're gonna see it when we go upstairs. This was the maid's quarters.
That was the maid's quarters?
Uh-huh. You'll see it looks nice here and has stone at the backside. Wasn't quite so nice. And it's very, very cold up there now. And let me kind of walk you over here to the side there. Well, that's the horse barn, the bunk area. And that's Matt Cloud. For you that live here in Highlands Ranch, he will be gone from here in 2026. He's about finished. And this property will become part of the park area. That will be some type of tour that they'll put in over here.
The petrified wood mixed in with it.
Mm-hmm. They did a good job with the river rock and making sure we're not where that group is. But I'm going to start here, but before I do that, this was the original house. I'm going to go over here and point out some things to you, so it'll make more sense when we go inside, because inside it's all together, but then when you come out here, you see how different it is. But this was the first owner, and the second owner in 1910, the bowling alley and that little room right there, and then over here, which looks like a Scottish castle. This was the second owner.
So it was fairly small at the first owner, huh?
It was real small. It looks huge, but every owner kept building on and on and on. And actually, the second owner had a window here, but then the fourth or fifth owner put in the door, took the window out. And right here was a door. This was the second owner's front door. But when the fifth owner put in that door, he took this door out and put a window. But anyway, this is why if you walked up, you saw all the different type of architecture. It's because every owner did their own thing. So the first owner, second owner.
How many owners total? I heard you say up to 5.
5, mm-hmm. I have sometimes 5 or 6, I keep forgetting. But anyway, yes, they would stay, it seemed like on an average of about 5 years, 6 years, except for the last owner. He was here quite a while.
Well, they had a wonderful view of the mountains, didn't they?
They did, and you know what? You were here when the tornado hit last year. Okay. Took down our trees. It came right through here. Took down our trees. But I'm glad, because we could never see the mountains with the trees up here.
Oh.
The trees blocked all of that view. So I hope they don't plant them again. I like the mountain view. Okay, and now we're going into the English tutor, and that was the fourth owner who put in the English tutor over here. So now we're getting to different owners. We're not sure on that far west wing. We think it was the second owner who did that. But yes, that's why it looks so different, because every owner added on. And then also, not only did he do the English tutor, but he's the one who raised the roof. $25,000 square feet. And that includes the build on. Remember, I told you we have an event room. I showed you the outside, and we're going to go inside. But that's what it is. an average of 25,000 acres max. It kept adding on from 2,000 to 12,000 to 17,000. They just kept adding on. But anyway, yeah, that's Chatfield Lake and what we've had over here. Okay, and when you can take as many pictures as you want, and we are going to go inside when you're ready. Now it's a door that goes into the bedroom, but you can see how it is. That was a gate that went to the back of the property before they kept adding on.
Oh, okay.
This, as I mentioned, was the first house. Now, from this corner to this corner, was built in 1891. The owner, though, came out here about 7 years earlier. He came from Denver because he was in real estate, found this property, and started a garden. And he did pretty well. It was only on 40 acres, but he did pretty well. Then he built the house, and he expanded up to 2,000 acres. We lost him in history till 2010, almost 100 years. We thought the second owner did this. No. And the reason we found out was, see up there that black, when they tore down the mansion porch to remodel in 2010, they saw in black it said Rotterwood. Nobody could find out what Rotterwood was. Then about a month later, they found out S. Allen Long. They traced him to Pennsylvania. From Pennsylvania, he came to Denver. And then, of course, from Denver, he found this property and built this house. Now, it was just he and his wife. And at the time, in that era, this was a pretty nice house. But he was out here 1 year, had business in Denver, went into Denver, was in a trolley accident. Injured severely, could not come back out here again. And he and his wife ended up moving to Denver, and this here stayed empty. This whole house of his stayed empty for about 6 years till the second owner bought the property. We knew who built this. We found it in the Denver newspaper. So that's how we even got his kitchen. Here's the little house he built. The front porch that we came in was right here. That was his front porch, and we came in that door. Plaque is under the window, if you can dare stretch your neck enough to look up. 1891, and this is what we talked about when I was out here. But this here, where you came in the door, and actually looking back now, was all his living room. Kitchen, we're going to go in that shortly. That was his kitchen. The second owner added on the kitchen that we can't go into because of the caterers. And this is what they added on right here. And this is our event room. Pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then we walked over here a while ago, and I walked you along the side, and I said they built that wall up here. And back here, what we call garages now, those were their carriage houses, and they opened those up they'll be part of the event room, which has worked out real well. Right here. And plus that you can get a different view of the outside. But there where the gazebo is, that was where their swimming pool was. But once they built the mansion, the swimming pool had to go. So they filled it in, and now we have a gazebo. That they had an awning at one time, just looking at it. There's the old fireplace from the 1891 house.
That fireplace was small compared to the new add-ons, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was, and you can't see it on the inside. They have it plastered over.
Oh, okay.
But outside you can see it. Actually, it looks like it's tilting a little bit, but it's not used. It's the old fireplace from 1891. Well, and this is so nice out here because we have a few months of beautiful flowers. And then in September when it starts turning cold, it's not so pretty out here. But that was the original door when they remodeled it. 2020, it was down in the root cellar. They found it, and of course we have pictures to show where it was.
Oh, okay.
So that's a 1910 door.
It is from the 1910 house. Okay, this room right here is called their breakfast room, but entirely different. When they remodeled in 2010, this room had fallen in completely. The second owner built it in 1910, but by 2010 it had fallen in, so they had to rebuild it. In doing so, this is what it looked like. Now, that opening you walked through, that was the window at one time. Right here, that was their window. And of course, this is now a half wall. And that's the outside, that's pretty area right there. This is what it looked like. Garden, cement, sidewalk, and that's the window you just walked through. But this is what it, again, that the whole thing has fallen in, and rebuilding, they did some modifications. And you can see old doorways and this is the dining room I showed you on the outside. It was half a dining room and they built it on. So the second owner had, then the third owner, I'm going to show you, added on. Okay, right here's the bowling alley. Here's where you came in, that front porch, that door, and here is the castle that I showed you the front door a while ago. So this is what it looked like before it was really kept being added on by the fourth, fifth owner. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth owner, Mr. Kistler. Okay. I told you about the tragedy for Mr. Long. Well, this is a gentleman who bought this house and all the property around it. It was 12,000 acres that he had. So his name was John Springer. He was from Illinois. He was an attorney, but he wanted to get into ranching. So he went to Texas, the biggest rancher in the Southwest. Colonel Hughes was his name. But he married his daughter, but she had tuberculosis. So no medicine, they had to move to what the climate was supposed to be, really the best climate. That's why he moved here, bought this because he came with his wife and thousands of cattle. So they had to have a place from Texas to bring them. And that's how the ranch got started, from here to here, from Texas to here. This girl is his daughter, but actually she was raised by her grandpa, Hughes. And that's because her mother did die, and he remarried a lady from Missouri, and she fit into Denver society, but wasn't a good character. If you've ever read the book Murder at the Brown Palace, it tells the story. Because he married her, and things just went down after that. He divorced, and after he divorced, then he did let Colonel Hughes bought this mansion. He didn't live here, but he used it for his ranching enterprises. So that's Colonel Hughes, but he's the one who extended the dining room out and built this room right here.
So let's step into the formal dining room.
This is a really, really nice room. It's one that Colonel Hughes, there in the picture, the third owner, he built this probably as an office. And he was really the money bags in the family. but he did the paneling on the wall. This is 1913, and it's held up with the bow ties. No nails, just bow ties. He also put the flooring down. It has 6-inch pegs holding the floor down.
This is walnut and herringbone pattern. I love the fact.
And then you have the German border all around. Now, Colonel Hughes lived out here about 5 years, and then he died. And it went to his granddaughter, but she really didn't do anything with it except sell it. And she now sells it to the fourth owner, which is Wade Phillips Petroleum Company. And he names it Phillips Highlands Ranch, and now we're going to start getting the spin-off to Highlands Ranch. And of course, he brought in the Scottish Highland Hereford. But this is a really, really nice room. Yeah, and it has, these lights were added. They had to do a lot of electrical work and lights, but it would have been Mr. Hughes. I think more than anything, he built it as an office. But then the last owner, it was their billiards room. Okay. Now things look bright different. Now what you see here in the mansion, this is the gentleman who did that. Frank Kistler, he completely remodeled everything when he bought the mansion. He had a bank, he was in the dairy business. That red top barn I showed you over there, and you'll see it again, was this dairy barn. But he ran out of money. It was the Depression. He had spent over $1 million, a lot of money at that time, to remodel this. And his bank said, you have got to leave here. He bought it at a good price, and say rounded out about $450,000, from 12,000 up to 17,000 acres. But he had to leave, so he went up to Carbondale, had a hotel up in Carbondale. But before you think I lost all my money, he got into uranium mining, because we have the beginning of World War II that's starting. So he went up there, he did quite well, but he had to leave the mansion. And when I mentioned he bought it at a pretty good price, he sold it for half of that to get out to the next owner for about $250,000 after all the remodeling and what he bought it. It was a big loss, but that is Frank Kistler, and this I say is his room because he liked to party. So you have the little sconces up on the wall with they're really cute oil lamps at one time. Then you have the Art Deco water. The marble is from Marble, Colorado. But the green is from Italy. That's why I said there's a lot of little touches from European countries. But we do have the original curtain rods that match the floor. As you left the parking lot, it's so long, it's breaking my head.
You know, right now,
All right, I can let you know.
Behind the bathtub, I think, is a prettier picture of what you can see.
They're getting excited to be here.
I don't know if they're excited. I think they can hide out wherever it is, but
And I think the guys don't have a lot of stuff to carry.
no, they just come in, and I don't think they play cards. There's no cards in there. But anyway, yes, this room has had multiple uses, from a bedroom, probably for a mother-in-law because of the bathroom in the big closet away from the house, man's parlor. The last owner did maps in here. He studied maps.
There's a couple of mountain scenes here,
I'm gonna start right over here.
And then remember I told you Mr. Kister that one, whatever number older he was, this is what it was like before he spent the $1 million to remodel. That's what it was, this room. And here's what it looked like when he finished 1930. That's the original clock. And if we're slow enough and sit down or something, you're gonna hear it chime in about 5 minutes. Okay, Mr. Kister's fireplace. The one thing we're sure about, 1929 to 1930. Mountain scenes both ends. This is the front porch. You came in this porch, this door right here. And then we just came out of this room right here, the far west room. And on the other side is where we opened up that window. But you have now, you came in up here, we went to the bowling alley, you have been through all of this, and we are now right here. The only thing we didn't do is the kitchen that we're gonna go to. That was her house where she lived.
Oh, okay.
Her dad gave the property and built the house.
Oh, nice way.
It sure was. You wanna just go to the kitchen, go sit from Golden donated those to us. She was downsizing.
Those, napkin holders?
And these two units.
This is his bedroom, and then across the little hall there where that door's closed was also a bedroom of his. Our manager uses that as an office, so we don't go in there. But this is the top, the upper floor to that little house you saw. Yeah. Okay, right in here, Mr. Long is flat roof. This was still his right here. This will still belong to Mr. Long, the 1891 house. Then the second owner, Mr. Springer, who built the turret and the castle part, here's the second floor to the turret. Down in the truck, so bad, I was using the truck up in the attic somewhere. That was their water supply.
Yep, they were half
Iron
brothers.
pipes put water into the
Lawrence
house.
Phipps's father
there's the
came from
windmill there.
Pennsylvania. He
Yeah,
was
Plum Creek, they had a potato patch over there by Plum Creek, leased some of the land, but his water was there. They had, you can go in, that was a 5-head shower. Again, Mr. Kistler, it was built by Springer, the second owner. Mr. Kistler's the one who did the scroll work and the tile and the Art Deco period fixtures. Okay, you were asking about the heating. Here's your pipes that brought in steamed heat.
Okay, yeah.
And you can go up there if you want to. It's prettier down here, but it's nice. bedrooms. They had a wall in between, but when they remodeled, they took the center wall down in both rooms. And these were the balconies, so yes, probably Kistler was gonna make this into a hotel. Cause I don't know why he would put balconies out here. Notice in there the master man's ladies, they had a door that locked between two doors that locked. A good spotlight on damages there.